Okay, continuing on, guys. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to finish it up in this video. I don't think so. I think it'll be another fourth short video. I'm not going to rush it. I want to say my piece on all these and let you know what I think, and you can share your thoughts or hopefully get some recommendations. Halo Reach. Now we've reached the newer games. So, or actually, we reached the newer games in the last video, but Halo Reach. Uh, on the Perfectly Sane Show, which is a podcast that I'm on, we gave this Game of the Year 2010. And honestly, I don't regret it. I think this is a really solid shooter. I think Bungie poured their heart into this. It was their last one, and you could just tell the amount of care they put into every corner of this. Great multiplayer, great new visuals, great game. Halo Reach is somewhat overlooked and underrated in a Call of Duty world. Halo kind of gets overlooked now, but if I want to play a shooter these days, this is what I'll pop in. Sims 3, I love The Sims, and they got it totally right on 360. It took a minute or two to get used to the controls, maybe about 30 minutes, but once you did, this was the complete Sims 3 experience and then some on the console. Pick it up. Sims is awesome. I'm sorry, no apologies on that one. Borderlands. This is kind of like Diablo meets a first-person shooter with cartoony graphics, and I don't know why, because I love games based on loot. I can't get into it, man. I can't get into it. I don't know why. Red Dead Redemption. For my money, this is better than Grand Theft Auto 4. This is Rockstar really stepping up their game and delivering a cinematic experience, and it's a great western. And visually, this is probably one of the best looking games you could get right now. And it's a couple years old now. It's still great. A lot of great things to say about it, but just if you like Grand Theft Auto, give Red Dead Redemption a shot. Even if westerns aren't your thing, you're gonna dig this game and its visuals and its there's a few instances of music, but just riding around on your horse in the sunset, or if it starts raining or something, it's just great. This is my pick for Game of the Year last year. Not a lot of people would agree with it, but I thought LA Noire was Rockstar once again stepping up their game, and this time they delivered an incredible noir experience. Um, it's different from the other games in that it's not based on action and shooting. It is a detective game. It's an adventure game where you go to crime scenes, you collect evidence, and you use that evidence to interrogate people. And the story, once it really kicks in, it takes a while because there's like this midsection to it, but it kind of plays out like a season of a really great crime drama or a cop drama. And I thought this story. I think this story is probably the best story I've played in a video game. It really is. It's very adult. It's mature. It's smart. Uh, References, an era of film and television probably too. It's just this is a don't go in expecting Grand Theft Auto. Like, this is basically Grand Theft Auto Western. Don't expect that. Go in expecting something completely different. Expect an adventure game. Expect to be a detective and watch a really great story and play through a great story. This is my runner-up for Game of the Year last year. The sequel to Portal. They expanded the game. They added a nice subtle little story in there. The humor was there. It was funnier than the first one. The puzzles were trickier. Some people say the puzzles in the first one were harder, maybe harder to pull off, but these were harder to figure out. I think the co-op mode was awesome and really hard. There was free co-op DLC a couple months past its release in the summer last year, and goes around $30 now. And if you haven't played Portal 2, you suck. Grand Theft Auto Episodes from Liberty City. I don't know why I bought this because I had downloaded Lost in the Dam before this came out, and I bought this anyways because I'm an idiot. But this has the two DLC releases for Grand Theft Auto 4. they're full games unto themselves. They're shorter than a Grand Theft Auto, but if you need more Grand Theft Auto, this might tide you over until the fifth one. I never beat Gay Tony. Gay Tony was fun. Lost and Damned had like this Sons of Anarchy vibe going for it. And you know what, guys? I might get through this here. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I mentioned this in the first or second clip I've done today. This is by Criterion, and it brought Need for Speed back to its roots. Cops and racers, and that's it. And it introduced this really awesome auto log system, which basically it's just like a really inventive kind of leaderboard that kind of resembles something like Facebook, where you're always trying to beat what your friends did. And EA expanded on this in a game I'm going to talk about soon. But if you like racing games, or if you like Burnout, and you're like, oh, I want to do Burnout, Criterion made this. This is like Need for Speed Burnout Edition. It rocks. And now we're down to the most recent games, or some of the most recent. And I will try to finish this. I got like 9 minutes. Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Great RPG, Oblivion was, and this was just a billion times better. Better graphics, more quests, improved gameplay. This won most Game of the Years for 2011. It wasn't my pick, but it's still really great. And actually, on our podcast, Perfectly Sane Show, this was the winner. I lost. I tried to argue for LA Noire, and I did not win. It's Skyrim. Come on, everyone. Everyone played Skyrim. Silent Hill HD Collection. This is very recent. Just came out, and I like survival horror. Like I said, though, I never owned PS2. So this was my first time playing a Silent Hill, and Silent Hill 2 blew me away. The ending of this game hit me like a ton of bricks. It was very emotional, very mature. I don't think I've ever seen, besides LA Noire, I don't think I've ever seen something so mature in a game. I seriously teared up at the ending to this game. And besides that, it was a pretty great survival horror. Silent Hill 3, I will get to once I'm done playing some other games, but this is a great pickup. $40 for 2 great survival horror games. Rayman at Origins, beautiful 2D platforming with great music and great visuals. It's pretty damn hard, but it's only like $20 now, so I say get it. This one might surprise you, but Sonic Generations, I like the old Sonics, and I actually can stomach a lot of the newer ones. And this one is kind of best of both worlds. Every level is a throwback to an older level, or a remake of an older level, and you get to play them in both 2D, like 2D perspective, and full 3D, like the new ones. And the 3D levels work; they don't suck. And this is the best Sonic game. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna get hyperbolic on you. This is the best Sonic game since Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It's short, but it's sweet and it's well done. And if you're a fan of Sonic, don't miss out on it. It really is a great game. Kinect Adventures, still in its wrap. Gives you an idea of how much I like my Kinect. I don't. Witcher 2, this came out this week. It is, I think it was on a lot of PC Game of the Year lists last year, and they just released it for 360 with, hours of extra content. And I'm liking it. I'm digging it so far. I like the storytelling and the writing. Kind of Mass Effect-y with the dialogue and the talking and stuff, but the writing is really good. The game itself is pretty hard, though, so I'm playing it on easy because it's hard. It's a hard combat system. This is a contender for me for Game of the Year this year so far, SSX. This is EA's attempt to reinvent the extreme sports genre, and it brings it back for this generation in a big, awesome way. Great soundtrack. There's only like 10 songs, but the sound, like, you never get sick of the songs in it. It runs at silky smooth, like I think 60 frames per second. Whatever it is, the frame rate is rock solid, and there's all, like, shit's flying by you constantly. And this is the game that expanded on the whole auto log thing that this game was doing. They call it RiderNet here. It's done even better. You're basically always seeing ghosts of your friends' best times, and you get experience for beating them. They get experience even when they're not playing if you lose to them. So you're constantly kind of playing multiplayer, even though there is no traditional multiplayer, and it's just extremely addictive because of that. You're just always trying to outdo your friends. I'm kind of more of a race event expert, and I have friends that are unbeatable at trick events. But just if you like Tony Hawk or the old SSX games, if you like anything like that genre from back in last generation, get SSX. You're missing out if you don't. Like I'm saying, this and Fez are Game of the Year contenders for me. And it's what, almost May now, so you're talking almost half a year. Down to the last two here. Batman Arkham City. Like I said, I don't like this as much as the first one. I'm more than halfway through it, and I stopped because of all the other awesome games coming out, and I don't know, guys. I don't like this one as much. It's a quality game. I just don't like it as much. And last but certainly not least, a pretty rare game, Pinball Hall of Fame: The Williams Collection. This is readily available on the Wii, but they did a port for 360 and PS3 that barely got released. And if you find I'm telling you, this is rare. Now they just released like an arcade download of version of this kind of, but I don't think it's the same. I don't think it has all the tables. I don't think it shares the same leaderboards or anything like that. So if you can find this, I'd say like if you're a pinball fan, get it. It has some tables you're gonna recognize. They're classics from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. They added 3 or 4 more tables for this one, and the ones they added were pretty fucking awesome. Medieval Madness is probably the best table in the game. That's new. Tales of Arabian Nights, No Good Gophers, and they also added this like Williams Challenge mode, which is pretty awesome. You have to play through like all the pinball tables, and you only get to fail a certain amount of times. You have to get a certain score in each one to beat the Williams Challenge. And if you get through all of them, then you unlock Jive Time, which is like the shittiest table. I can tell you from the Wii version, it's like the shittiest table in the game, but I like it for some reason. So this game's gonna drive me nuts as I try to or try to beat the Williams Challenge. If you like pinball, though, this is the closest you're gonna get to it on console. This is the authentic pinball experience with authentic tables and all sorts of details and little extras on them. Extremely well done and a gem. This is a hidden gem. Find it and buy it. You won't regret it. If you like pinball, you will not regret it. Probably my favorite table, or one of them, is Space Shuttle because my uncle had it in his basement, so I'm very familiar with it. Now, that's about it. I know that's not the biggest 360 collection, but you have to also consider that I sell some of my games, not as often as I did when I was younger, because I make money now, or sort of. And I sold. I think last year I sold Crisis 2 that I bought. I sold Alice Madness Returns. There's certain games you beat, and you're like, I'm not gonna really play it again, or not anytime soon. I'll get it again once it's cheaper. That's what I do sometimes. I try to stay away from that because you're kind of ripping yourself off, but. And then, of course, that's not including all the Xbox Live Arcade games that I own, which certainly is not as many as the retail games, but I have a decent chunk of them. And like I mentioned, Fez, that one just came out, 800 points, $10. It's probably my game of the year so far, that and SSX. So, but yeah, that's it. I hope you got something out of this, or you just enjoy watching these types of videos. Share your thoughts on any of these games. Let me know if you got any recommendations out of it. Let me know if you have any recommendations for me, but chances are, even if I haven't played it, chances are, even if I don't own it, or you didn't see it in these videos, I have played it, but, if you want to throw a suggestion my way, go for it. Anyways, thanks for watching these. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, I hope you got some ideas of stuff to pick out. Anyways, later, guys.